Good afternoon, guys. Today it's our learning class, reviewing class number 13. What are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about these three topics right here. We are going to talk about past simple in all its forms, was and where. All right. So the past simple using was and where in all its forms. We are going to see some examples using past simple making questions as when were you born or when was he or she born. And we are going to talk about past simple, all the regulars and irregular verbs, all the conjugation and how can we turn a regular verb into, how can we take infinitive verb and do it to the past, and what is the difference between regular and irregular verbs? Okay, let's go. We are going to start with was and where, past simple in all its forms. Okay, for positive, we have, of course, as we know, just like present simple, we have all the subject pronouns here. And of course, we are going to use was and where. Was, we use it for I, he, she, it. And where, we use it for you, we, they. Okay? And when we add was and where, we are going to add an verb. Okay? We are going to add the verb. We are going to add the verb. For example, I was playing. He was eating. She was running. It was going. You were playing. We were running. They were eating. Okay? Let's see negative. For negative, we have all the subject pronouns right here. All the subject pronouns. And we have we add the was and where. Was plus not. This is the contraction. So it will be was not, and the contraction will be wasn't. For this one will be were not, and the contraction will be weren't. Okay? So for I, he, she, it, we have was not or wasn't. For you, we, they, we have were not or weren't. Okay? For interrogative or question, we first of all write the was or where. For a question, we write was I, was he, was she, was it. For example, was I playing? Was he running? Was she eating? Was it walking? For you, we, they, we use where at the beginning of the sentence or the question in this case. So it will be where you, we, where we, where they. Were you eating? Were you playing? Were we playing? Were they running? So we have subject pronoun. For positive, we have subject pronoun. We have was or where, depends on our subject pronoun. Plus, we also write the verb. Okay, for negative, we have all the subject pronouns. Also, we do write the subject pronoun at the beginning of the sentence. Then we have was or where plus not. Was not or were not, or wasn't or weren't, plus the verb. Okay, we write the verb at the end of it that it will be the complement. And for question, we write first was or where, depends on the subject pronouns. For example, was I or were you? So we write first this the was or where, then we write the subject pronoun, then we write the verb or complement. Okay, so these questions right here that we have, We have short answers for this, right? Let's see the short answers. Short answers will be, yes, I was. Yes, he was. Yes, she was. Yes, it was. This is for positive. Yes, you were. Yes, we were. Yes, they were. For negative, we have no, I was not, or I wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, she wasn't. No, it wasn't. Or no, he was not. No, she was not. Or no, it was not. For where is just the same thing. No, you were not. No, we were not. Or no, they were not. If we want to use a contraction, will be no, you weren't. No, we weren't. No, they weren't. This is some mistakes we could make in negative in question. For example, in negative, we cannot write didn't, was. It is he wasn't. No, he didn't was. He wasn't, just one of both, okay? In question, we cannot, in question, we cannot write the she was, no. We write was she, were you, was I, okay? We cannot write did at the beginning of it, okay? Let's go to see some examples for interrogative or questions. For examples, when were you born, or when was he or she born? Okay, let's see. When were you born? When were you born? I was born in January. When were we born? We were born. Oh, is where. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, that's fine. Is where, right here is not was, is where. Okay, so it will be, when were you born? I was born in January. When were we born? We were born in January. When were they born? They were born in January. Okay. When was he born? He was born in January. Or you can say any date, any month. Okay. When was she born? She was born in January. And when was it born? It was born in January. So these are some examples that we can see for interrogative or question form. Okay, let's go to the next topic. Past simple, regular and irregular verbs. Okay, regular and irregular verbs. What is the difference between these two? For regular verbs, we add an ed in all persons. For example, or all verbs, talk, talked, played, played. For irregular verbs, we have to study them as they have a special form in the past. So they change. We just cannot add an ed at the end of it. We change them because we have to study them as they do have a special form in past. For example, eat, ate, speak, spoke, have, had. So that is a difference, okay? For regular verbs, we just add an ed at the end of it or at the end of the verb. For irregular verbs, this is a difference. We need to know them. We have to study them and to know them because they have a special form in the past. They are different, they change, okay? Let's see some examples. regular and irregular verb examples. For regular verbs form in the past and past participle forms by adding an ed at the end of the verb. For example, watch, watched. I watched TV last night. Play, I played baseball this morning. We studied hard for this test. I enjoyed the new film. My brother climbed the cliff wall. The lamb jumped over the fence. They cooked an amazing meal. Let's see the difference between irregular verbs. For irregular verbs, they don't follow the normal patterns for tense and past participles. For example, this is the verb eat, but in past we say we ate the pizza quickly. This is the regular verb. This is the normal verb. Drink. I drank some cola. Drunk is the past of drink. Sleep. The past of sleep will be slept. They slept in the treehouse. Forget. The past for the verb got, the verb get is got. She got a watch at Christmas. Swim. The past for swim is swam. He swam in the ocean. For dig, the child dug a hole. And for hide, the dog hid the bone in the garden. Okay, so these will be the regular and irregular verbs examples. Let's take a minute to review all of this. For was, were, past simple in all its form, we have positive, then we have subject plus was or were. Negative is subject plus was not or were not. You can also write the contraction that it will be wasn't or weren't. And for question or interrogative form, we have wasn't were plus subject pronoun plus verb plus question mark. Okay, for sure answers, we have positive and negative. For positive, we have yes, subject pronoun, was or were. For negative, we have no, subject pronoun, was not, or were not. Or you can also use the contraction, wasn't or weren't. Okay? For question, we saw some examples as this one right here. When were you born? When were we born? Or when were they born? I was born in January. We were born in January, or they were born in January. We can also use February, April, May, June, July, March, August, September, October, November, December, any month. Okay? For singular, we have when was he born, when was she born, or when was it born? The answer will be he was born in January, she was born in January, or it was born in January. For past simple, regular, and irregular verbs, we already know the concept for those two, right? We have regular and irregular verbs. For regular verbs, we have to add an ed in all the verbs, all right? So we have talk. At the end of it, we have ed. We have play. At the end of the verb, we have ed. All right? So for these, we have ed at the end of the verb. And irregular verbs, they just change because of the form in the past. For regular and irregular examples, we have some here. We already saw them. So these will be all the lessons and the topics by right now.